collect hundreds of dead batteries, wired them together, so that they just had enough juice for one charge, and that charge to detonate an IED. I remember the look on my roommate's face after she got back from cutting the dead bodies. A new soldier out of a Humvee that got blown up by an IED, and I have always imagined that was made with fertilizer from an opium farmer detonated with 100 thrown out batteries. I remember an Afghan kid who worked in the DFAC cafeteria we called Cowboy, always wore this cowboy hat and an I'm a student t-shirt someone was given and always with a big smile. High school age. Cowboy was a good student. He wanted to go to college in America, but there weren't colleges that took Afghans. The education system was too shit. No program to help kids like him. I loved. I wonder if he's dead now. Dreaming of something different. The Cowboy's dead that he died a long time ago. And Cowboy's dead that it's our fault for going in there in the first place. Giving his family the option of trusting us when we are the least trustworthy people on the planet. We use people up and throw them away like it's nothing. And now we're leaving. And the predictable thing is happening. The Taliban is surging in and taking it all back. They have what you can't buy or train. They have patience and a bloody-mindedness that warrants more respect than we ever gave them. Get the fuck out of Afghanistan, which, as a friend pointed out to me today, has always been Team Taliban. It's Team Taliban or Team Stay Forever. There is no third team. So I'm sitting here reading these sad fucking tweets about the suffering in Afghanistan and the horror of the approaching Taliban and how awful it is that this is happening, but I can't stop feeling this grim happiness. Like, finally you get to see it too. No more blown up soldiers, no more Bollywood videos on phones as owners get shipped to God knows where. No more hypocrisy, no more pretending it meant anything it didn't. It didn't mean a fucking thing. Wow, what a thread. And it is crazy. But if you remember the beginning of the Afghan war, we were just sweeping people up. Some of them terrorists, some of them not. And sending them to places like Guantanamo Bay, sending them to Bagram, which I believe is in Afghanistan, it might have been in Iraq. Sending them to places to, I think it was in Afghanistan, Bagram Air Force Base.
It's Afghanistan.
Yes. Sending them to places like the salt pit to be tortured. Look that up. Look up the salt. Bagram salt. The salt pit is a black prison. Okay? Meaning that it was a CIA black site for interrogation. Located north of Kabul, was the location of a brick factory prior to the Afghanistan war. That's where we would bring people and torture them. Because we were there to help them. You see? We were there to help them, and we would bring them to this underground prison, this brick factory here, and torture them mercilessly until they gave us some type of information. And people were tortured to death and died there. And how do you think that made the people in Afghanistan feel? Do you think we lost a few hearts and minds with that? With the salt pit? Do you think perhaps, ex-U.S. detainees described unreported CIA torture? You know, I mean, it's like, water torture, waterboarding, beatings, threatened with electric chair. They would put people in boxes and put bugs in there, let them crawl on them. I mean, this was how we were going to break the spirit of these people. Well, guess what? It didn't work. We lost this one, and we lost. And there's no other way to. Yes, we could drop A-bombs and nukes or whatever, but we lost the ground game here big time. We didn't have the will, nor should we have the will. We're fighting for Afghanistan, and this sucks. It sucks across the board. It sucks for the Afghans that thought they were gonna have a different life. It sucks for the soldiers who died, and their deaths don't mean anything. It sucks for the people that went over there to do some charity. That sucks. If you're still there, it really is going to test how much you believe. I mean, show the Afghan airport, show that plane leaving. This is a crazy scene to watch. You see this C-17. This is a wild video to watch if you haven't seen it, which I'm sure you have. And I'm telling you right now, there's a few days here before, as I said on the Patreon, we're going to get a media blackout. And once there's a media blackout, it's pretty much, pretty much go. No one's gonna care anymore. So now look at this. Okay, Ben, this is the wrong video. This is a scene of Austin, Texas. This is a scene of people leaving Austin, Texas. Look at this. They're all leaving. Look at this scene of people running down South Congress to get out of Austin, Texas, to go back to a real city. That's the Austin airport. There's all the comics that moved here. They thought they were going to be on Joe Rogan's show every week. Comics are going to leave Austin like Afghani translators that worked with the Department of Defense. They're going to get on planes so quickly and get the fuck out of there. Because they all thought they were coming down to a Joe Rogan show. You know? And then he had some guy that he hunted for Bigfoot with on for the ninth time. And all these comics are sitting here in Austin going, wait a minute, when's my time? You better cling to that plane and get out. Leaving your house is whatever. I like DoorDash. A little help from DoorDash. You can get dinner, household essentials, and everything on your grocery list delivered. Ever pulled in the driveway after a trip to the grocery store, only to realize you forgot that one key ingredient for dinner? Now you have options. Get the groceries you need, or a backup meal from your favorite local restaurant, delivered with DoorDash. But they will deliver you groceries, food, everything. They'll connect you with everything you want. It's time to get back out there. And if you're not quite ready for a full-blown adventure, there's still ways to explore the world from the comfort of your home. DoorDash has got 300,000 partners. You can support your neighborhood's go-to, choose from favorite national restaurants, Popeyes, Chipotle, and Cheesecake Factory. Ordering is easy. All your items will be safely left outside your door when you choose contactless delivery drop-off. For a limited time, Tim Dillon Show listeners can get 25% off and zero delivery fees on their first order of $15 or more. Think about that. 25% off, zero delivery fees on their first order of $15 or more when you download the DoorDash app and enter code Tim Dillon. 25% off, up to $10 value, zero delivery fees on the first order when you download the DoorDash app in the App Store and enter code Tim Dillon. Do it right now. That's Tim Dillon for 25% off your first order with DoorDash. Think about that. You gotta do it. It makes a lot of sense. The Spoke Post, we all want things. We all love surprises. The Spoke Post only sends guys the best stuff every month, no matter what you're into. Box of Awesome as you cover, from breezy summer styles to grooming goods to travel and outdoor gear. Box of Awesome has collections for every part of your life. Get started, take the quiz at boxofawesome.com. Your answers will help them pick the right Box of Awesome for you. They release new boxes every month across a ton of different categories. It's free to sign up, and you can skip a month or cancel anytime. Each box costs only $45, but has over $70 worth of gear inside. So you just get a box every month of really cool stuff. Once you take this quiz and they figure out what you like, 20% off your first monthly box when you sign up. Think about that. 20% off your first monthly box when you sign up at boxofawesome.com and enter the code Tim Dillon at checkout. That's boxofawesome.com, code Tim Dillon for 20% off your first box. I mean, how cool is this? Wallets, knives, coffee makers, a weekender, carry-all, bag, socks, taco night, reinvigorated. A great thing for the trail, restore a travel-size grooming regimen for looking great everywhere. Things like this will come in your Box of Awesome. It's really cool. It's great to get surprised with things that you need and want. Do you understand that?
Yes.
I need them and I want them.
That knife looks really cool.
Does it? Yeah, it does. You know what you can do with that knife? You can hold it to the throat of a salmon. That's right. If the salmon's not doing something you want it to do, you can hold it right to the throat of the salmon. salmon's getting mouthy with you, you put it right to the throat of that salmon, and you cut that fish up. You can cut that fish up. You ever gut a fish? I'm speaking rhetorical. Boxofawesome.com. Enter the code Tim Dillon and check out. That's boxofawesome.com. Tim Dillon for 20% off your first box. We read a real fun article about Palm Beach. All roads lead to Mar-a-Lago inside the fury and fantasy of Donald Trump's Florida. You've got a fun crew down there. I mean, let's separate this from ideology for a minute. I know the audience is incapable of doing that. You know, I don't understand. It's probably because they have nothing going on in their lives that brings them any enjoyment. But separating ideology for a minute, it's just a fun crew. Roger Stone, Tucker, Sean Hannity, Ben Shapiro, Laura Ingraham, Ann Coulter, Brad Parscale, the Trump campaign manager, who's now advising Caitlyn Jenner. The epicenter of the American conservative movement has become Florida. It's become this swamp of goons and scoundrels and grifters and just all around fun people. Tabloid culture, the birthplace of the National Enquirer, and Matt Drudge lives down there, the Drudge Report, which I love. And conservatism was kept out of these mainstream institutions for a long time, you know? A lot of the major papers in America and television networks were cosmopolitan in the sense that they were never hard left, for sure. They were liberal. They were decidedly liberal on a lot of the key values that conservatives find themselves on the other side. And that's why a lot of the conservative personalities in media are a bit flashier because they're rappers essentially. They talk shit. They're not getting published in mainstream places, right? So they had to take over alternative media, talk radio, and the internet. And people like Rush Limbaugh and Matt Drudge and Ann Coulter, and they came from outside of this system where you played these respectability politics. And these guys like Christopher Ruddy, who started Newsmax, and they're all down there in Palm Beach, Florida. And it just seems like a lot of fun. It seems like a lot of fun. And if you read this Vanity Fair article, like the waiter who's serving Roger Stone and Laura Loomer food, it goes like this. So they're seated in a private room. A heavy-set waiter comes in, an immigrant from Yugoslavia named Mario, who introduces himself as a diehard Republican. He's crestfallen. He sees Laura Loomer and Roger Stone sitting there. And he goes, unbelievable what they did to us. And Loomer goes, I know. And the waiter goes, bunch of criminals. And Oliver Stone goes, not over yet. And then Mario goes, that's right, I'm hoping. We're all hoping. So they're keeping that hope alive down there in Florida. It's like, you know the song at the beginning of Portlandia, the dream of the 90s is alive in Portland? That's what's going on. And the dream of Q is alive in Palm Beach. You know? And it's just these people just kind of dancing around, eating steaks and martinis at 3 p.m., thinking that Trump's going to be reinstalled as president somehow. Fat Mario the waiter, Laura Loomer, Ann Coulter, who then at the end of the article, Ann Coulter and Matt Drudge go, we're leaving Florida, and we're not telling anybody where we're going. And I guess they're leaving because Drudge and I are both leaving Florida, and we're not telling anyone where we're going this time. I guess because Coulter, she's fallen out of the Trump camp. She's unhappy with Trump. But it's fun. Florida's always kind of been a fun place. And I remember when we snuck into the Breakers Buffet. And there's something nice about Florida. There's something distinctly American about lying your way into an all-you-can-eat Mother's Day buffet without a mother. We had no mother. We honored no one. It was just to sit there and feed ourselves on shellfish. And it was great. The guru was there, but we didn't even see him. But that's Florida for you. It's a fun article in Vanity Fair if you read it. And the thing is, Ben said I'd love to go to one of these parties earlier, and you would and you wouldn't, because something I learned when I was debating people that were to become people like this, right? A lot of the kids that I was debating when I was in college, even though I was in a community college, many of these people were going on to 4-year schools, and they were going to, I think one of them worked for Mitt Romney for a while. The thing about people who live, sleep, eat, and breathe politics is that they're boring. The thing about politics is it obscures many of the truths of life, which are truly apolitical, right? The deep human truths of life, which is what art tries to get to, which is why art sucks now, because we're fitting those truths or showcasing them in a way that has to break down into this political binary. It's not natural. But, and I'm not saying artists are fun to be around either, don't mistake me, but the thing about people whose entire life, their entire existence, the way they interface with the world is all politics, is deeply unfulfilling. It's deeply unfulfilling. And many of them know that. Because there is a disconnect between what you're saying and what's happening. And that's a chasm. Meaning you're not really in the fight to change things as much as you're in the fight to become famous or wealthy, and you're really trying to establish yourself. And then there's this movement of people that you can kind of grab onto for a minute, and you can guide them or push them in a certain way, but that's an unruly mob of human beings that's just going to go somewhere else, or you got to keep track of them, keep hold of them. It's not easy. And, real change is very difficult, and it's not that glamorous. And the people that work to make real change, like real activists, lawyers and doctors, and people that give up lucrative careers to then go help people on the street and actually help people get elected to local government, change laws that affect people's lives. That's very different than the pundit class, gin martinis at 3 a.m. at the Breakers in Palm Beach, and talking about revolution, and this is happening, and this is happening. And none of it's really happening. That's the thing. It's not really happening. And the people that do this kind of know that. But they've given themselves over to it, and their entire life is politics. There's not much else there. And it's why I decided to get out. I thought I wanted to be in that world, and I said, I don't want to be in that world. I don't have to have an idea or a thought and go, wait a minute. Is this something that my enemies would say? Or is this something my allies would say? And then what? I didn't want to have to put everything through that prison. But if I did, it does seem fun to do it in Palm Beach, Florida, with these lunatics. They seem a lot more fun than the neoliberal Hampton set and the Brooklyn socialist set. These people seem a lot more fun. If we're just going to go off fun, martinis with these lunatics, the true answer is none of the above. But if you had to, it might be here. Hurricane heading to Long Island. Long Island does very well with hurricanes. I remember after Hurricane Sandy, people were sitting out on their lawn with rifles because they were afraid of, quote, wandering gangs of minorities. So Long Island really shines during natural disasters. People were going around to rob each other's houses. On Long Island, there were people sitting in their driveways with weapons. And I'm not saying that there wasn't some fuckery, I'm sure there was. This is Hurricane Henry, or Henri. It is strengthening. It is expected to become a hurricane on Saturday. I'm really wondering how bad this is going to be. Now, you got to remember that
You rate this to a category 1?
that's nothing.
It's nothing.
Nothing. Hurricane Sandy was the Long Island. It was the first time in a very long time that Long Island had really gone through a natural disaster. Um, it destroyed 650,000 homes or damage. It took years to get back on their feet, these people. I knew Long Island was finally back when insurance companies were calling people and saying, we overpaid you. We gave you too much money and you owe us money. And then people that I knew from comedy, comedians in Long Island that didn't have jobs, were working at those call centers, calling up these elderly people who finally just had a moment of peace because their home had just been finished after years and said, hey, Miss Marino, we overpaid you about $30,000. You owe us. What? You owe us money. The insurance company, you better make good. What's going on? Ralph, they're saying we owe the money. You better fucking pay, you old bitch. So as soon as that started happening again, and people in Long Island started leaning into their character, I knew that Long Island was going to be fine. But I remember I was living in New York City when Hurricane Sandy happened, and it damaged where I grew up. I mean, it was underwater. The town I grew up in was underwater. It was really, really bad. Yeah, this is photos from Island Park during Hurricane Sandy. It was bad. People were without power. There's boats in people's yards. Looters will be shot like that. There you go. That's beautiful. But it did. It pushed people to the brink. And I'm not, I did not experience it, right? I was in Manhattan. I never lost power. I was living in Midtown Manhattan. Some of Manhattan lost power downtown, but not where I lived. And Hurricane Sandy was real character building from Long Island. It really was. Long Island used to be a racist place. After Hurricane Sandy, Long Island used to be a place where people like very paranoid about different races. Now after Hurricane Sandy, it really became a beautiful place where different types of people understood and respected each other. But before that, can you believe it was not that? And Long Island, it was tough. And I remember talking to friends. And of course, people used Hurricane Sandy for years after as an excuse for their lives. It will be COVID too. The biggest losers in your life, and they were already doing it, but they'll do it more. We'll go, I had so much going on. COVID. I was about to do it. Do what? Everything. COVID. And that's what Hurricane Sandy was. People like, oh my God, Hurricane Sandy came, and it fucked me for years. Yes. I couldn't get a job or go to school or anything. I just had to sit in water for years and drink. I just had to sit in disgusting water and drink for 7 years after Hurricane Sandy. And that's what's going to happen with COVID too. On the other side of COVID, people are going to go, yeah, I was going to go to college, or I was going to get that job. I was going to move. That's going to be the big one. I was going to leave. Because of COVID, I couldn't do it. And some of those people will be correct, just like some of the people in Long Island were being genuine when they said that this fucked up their plans. But then there will be the vast majority of people that are, or maybe not the vast majority, but far too many people that are just lying about this. And you're going to turn around, it'll be like 2026, and you'll go, so wait a minute. Run this back again. You didn't go to college in 2023 because of the coronavirus. Explain this. And then they'll have to jump through hoops and explain it. and say like, oh well, actually what happened was my mother's friend died of COVID, and we took in her cat, and that was more of a burden than we had imagined. And then I thought I had it, but I never did. And then we couldn't pay the bills because my uncle had a bar, and my boyfriend got in a bar fight with a guy who may have had COVID, and that was why he was crazy. And my boyfriend split his head open in the parking lot, and we had to pay for my boyfriend to get out of jail and to go to trial. And then he did 6 months, and 6 months, well, he can't work, and how are we going to feed this cat from that lady who died of COVID? You see what I mean? COVID. You go, what? You see? Because that's people Hurricane Sandy. My car was destroyed in Hurricane Sandy. Then I got another car, and it was repossessed, and it was taken by the state. They said I was drunk, but I wasn't. And you go, does this really have to do with the hurricane? Can you draw a straight line from the hurricane to where you are now? Draw a straight line from COVID to where you are now. Now, many people will be able to. They'll be like, I went in, I had 19 strokes. And you go, got it. Hey, got it. Got it. And those people are going to barely be able to talk. We get it. But then there's going to be the people who are going to get very creative about this period of time. And I said before, I said on the Patreon episode, how excited I am for whatever the next phase of life is, whatever the next phase of culture is, because we need it. People are psychologically coming apart. The news is circular. We've all had enough. There's nothing that we haven't talked about 19 times, you know? It would be like, imagine if Hurricane Sandy kept happening. Like, imagine if Hurricane Sandy just kept battering, like you would build the house halfway back and then gale force winds again, floods again. It would be crazy if that kept happening. Like Hurricane Katrina just happened the next year. Just again, they're like, it's another surge. It's Hurricane Katrina, Delta variant, and it just wouldn't stop. Magic Spoon cereal is the best. It is so good. It's got 0 grams of sugar, 13, 14 grams of protein, only 4 net grams of carbs in each serving. It's keto-friendly, gluten-free, grain-free, soy-free, low carb. You can build your own box or get a variety pack with available flavors like cocoa, fruity frosting, peanut butter, blueberry, and cinnamon. Magic Spoon is bringing back 2 super popular flavors, cookies and cream and maple waffle, permanently. When these flavors were first introduced for a limited time, they sold out extremely quickly. Let your listeners know, which I'm doing now, that they should fucking get these. MagicSpoon.com/Tim Dillon to grab your delicious cereal today. Many of you want to enjoy sugar cereal that doesn't have sugar, and how does that happen? Well, Magic Spoon uses very high quality sweeteners like monk fruit. It's great. MagicSpoon.com/Tim Dillon. They're so confident in their product. It's backed by 100% happiness guarantee. So if you don't like it for any reason, they'll refund your money, no question asked. They're so confident in their product, it's backed with 100% happiness guarantee. So listen to that. They really want you to have this cereal. Remember, get your next delicious bowl of guilt-free cereal